So, like many of you, I watched the recent episode of One Punch Man Season 3, Episode 3, and of course, it didn't really look that great. It definitely had fine moments, but we all wanted something a bit different, something that we had. Now, surface-wise, it does look as though that j.c.staff is to blame, and I too believe this, but no, there was something else we were missing entirely, something I completely missed and was properly educated on. A key factor that is to blame entirely for what we have. I would like to talk to you today about Bandai Namco Filmworks and the production committee. Firstly, shout out to everyone in the comment section of my recent One Punch Man video. They pretty much helped me to further look into this and formulate the research that we're going to be discussing today. Bandai Namco Filmworks is a part of something known as a production committee. A production committee is a joint venture of multiple companies that pool resources to finance, manage, and produce a creative project. This, of course, is done for several reasons. One being the financial risk in case the project does fail and there isn't a positive return on the investment, as well as secure capital for the project by distributing the cost among the involved companies. So in other words, it's a safer bet to go in with more people than just by yourself. That's basically what they're saying. But here's a notable point. Ultimately, they have the authority over the project's content and overall direction. That would involve things like the release of it and how it'll be carried out throughout a particular season, as well as long as they have ownership to a degree of said IP. Keep that in mind. An animation studio's role in this is pretty simple. They almost work like subcontractors, so they are specialized in their practice of making animation, but in regards to having ownership for the IP, they actually don't have ownership over that at all. They just have the job to make it come to life. I would imagine the studio themselves receive an offer to get the project done. However, they don't share in profits for the final product. That would be the production committee themselves. Overall, something like this should have helped. Now, as to why it hasn't, as to why One Punch Man Season 3 looks the way that it does, well, there are leading reasons, and there's a very notable one. The schedule for release and the lack of compensation to get the job done. As to what the price was to get the job done, I looked into this and I wasn't able to really find a concrete answer. But correct me if I'm wrong. Season 3 of One Punch Man was announced in August of 2022. I actually remember covering a video about this when I lived with my mom, and I was talking about a variety of different news, and that was one of them. But production did not start until March of this year. So that's about a 6 to 7 month time frame to get an entire season done. Another factor to consider is that most animation studios just had their hands full with other projects and weren't willing to add another to their plate with the lack of time given and with how the production committee has been handling the IP. I doubt the production committee wouldn't have changed their decision or approach in any way regarding the offer. Shinpei and j.c.staff, as well as other freelance animators involved on this project, bravely took on the challenge, and well, here we are. Now, I will say, in my previous video, I was a bit critical about the studio as a whole, which is wrong. They're giving it their all and weren't given the time to make this thing really shine the way it deserves to. Does that mean we can't express our feelings about it? No, you have every right to do so. If you go to fucking Chick-fil-A and you get a sandwich and it's the best thing you've ever had, then you go there a year later and it's not so great, then you go there a year after that and it's just fucking terrible, you have every right to express how you feel about it. You're not satisfied with what you're receiving as a consumer. But what I don't support is pointing the blame at the wrong people or the wrong person. Bandai Namco Filmworks, as well as any other company that had a hand in the production on the committee, are the ones you should be looking at. They are the ones, again, in charge and involved when it comes to the marketing, the promotion of said IP, as well as when it's going to be released. They have complete authority over that decision, not j.c.staff and definitely not Shinpei. It's just sad to see that a lot of people were, specifically the fan base of One Punch Man, they were so negative in regards to just like how everything was being handled that the director Shinpei himself had to completely not destroy, but take down his Twitter account because they wouldn't calm down. They were deceptively attacking this man, and it's just not okay. I don't support that at all. I think it's pretty commendable The fact that he and j.c.staff and everybody else that's involved in regards to like the animation, they took this on and they tried their best, and like I said, in such a tight time frame. For me as a fan of the IP, I think that's enough for me to keep going. Some of y'all might bow out, and that's fine, but to blindly point your finger is wrong. I just think for me, knowing the story, knowing the full story behind everything involved in regards to this current season and maybe even the previous season too, helps me to kind of have more of an appreciation of what I am receiving as a fan of said thing. So that's it. That's all I really came here to say, just to kind of clear up any sort of misconceptions, any sort of confusion. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I want to thank you all for the clarification about the whole process in my previous video. I really do appreciate it. If you do like what you see here, please go down, like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate any and all support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.